Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Civic Action Podcast, the voice of the next generation. I'm your host, Clint John, Executive Director of Virtutem Populo Incorporated. And somehow they let teenagers host a podcast about government, so here we are today. I'm honored to be joined by Santiago Rodriguez del Valle, my co-host today. Hi, Santiago, how are you?
Hey everyone, happy to be here. Today's special episode is a big one. We have somebody who doesn't just lead Miami-Dade County, but she leads with Miami-Dade County.
That's right. It's one you guys have been waiting on, our own Miami-Dade County Mayor, Daniella Levine Cava. She's a social worker, attorney, public servant, and honestly one of the most inspiring people in government today. Madam Mayor, welcome to our podcast.
Clint, thank you so much. Santiago, so exciting to be with you today.
Thank you. Thank you for reminding young people that civic action still matters. Santiago, take it away.
So, Mayor Cava, you have such a unique mix: social work and law, not the usual combo for a politician. How do these traits shape your daily challenges for leading a county this big?
Well, I needed to do both because there are at least two sides of my brain, right? There's the yin and the yang. That's the way I look at it. And I like to say it's the language of power and the language of love. And then I ask people, well, which is which? Usually people think law is the language of power and the love goes on the social work side. But I have to say that it can be either way, because in social work, you learn to build relationships with people of trust, and that empowers them to achieve their full potential. And in law, if you don't care about the people you're representing, then you're not going to be very successful.
Wow. Thank you so much for reminding us that empathy and structure can exist in the same space.
They must.
They must. All right, Santiago.
I love the yin and yang idea. But for our next question, you run the most populous county in all of Florida. And people, most of the time, don't really understand what a mayor actually does day to day. What's one of the most misconceptions that people have had about your work?
So let me start by saying I'm in a unique role because while we are the biggest county, almost 3 million people, generally in Florida, mayors are not elected at large. They're often the chair of the commission, and they're elected for 2-year terms and don't run the county. There's also a manager, but I'm, as a strong mayor, the manager as well as the elected official over the entire county. So, well, let's just start with the budget. It's almost a $13 billion budget, bigger than many countries and many states in this country. And it covers just such a diverse set of things that we run. I'm responsible for the airport and the seaport. Many places have independent authorities to run those things. Also the transit system, the roads, libraries, animal services, water and sewer, solid waste, parks, the jails, social services. It's really quite extensive. So all of those programs fall under my review as the top administrator executive for county government. Also, there are 34 cities within the county. Roughly half of the county is incorporated as a city. So they have a city mayor, and then they've got the county mayor. And while I'm not responsible for their mayors, we are responsible for certain things countywide, including the environment. Environmental protection is the responsibility of the county. So there are zoning and planning matters that every city has to look to the county for, as well as some of those services that we provide countywide. So it's a very complicated job. I've got 13 county commissioners that represent districts. They all have their own ideas, plans, goals, and then we have those 34 cities to work with as well.
Absolutely. That is so insightful. A lot of our viewers want to be in your shoes when they grow up. So thank you for reminding us,
Yes.
that with great power comes great responsibility, right?
Thank you. That's very true.
Yeah. Okay, so Santi.
So we tried something new and we ran a poll with our viewers and we asked them, what's one main issue that you care about? And all of them, well, at least a large majority, chose climate change. And Miami-Dade County and most of the cities along the coast are recognized as ground zero for both hurricanes and sea level rise. What's something that your administration is doing to give hope to its citizens and the future of our county?
First, let me say how inspiring it is that the vast majority of your poll responders view that as a top priority, because it is not currently a top priority
Yeah.
of the federal administration. The state has concerns about flooding, that's very practical, and land preservation, but not generally on broadly climate change. In fact, those words have actually been purged from the federal vocabulary. So it's a very difficult time to be planning around something that is very real and that we see, the rising tide, as you say. We just had king tide last week, the highest that it has ever been recorded in Miami-Dade County. And that was not more devastating because there wasn't a major rain event at the same time. So we are seeing streets flooded. We know that we have the most assets at risk of any place in the world, right? So we're still building close to the coastline. We also have water intrusion, not just along the coast. So we have to be building smarter, higher. We have to find places for the water to go, that it can safely come off the land. So we have done a tremendous amount since I've become mayor. It's been a top priority of mine. We've converted septic to sewer because septic systems are compromised with the rising sea, and then the nutrients in your septic tanks go into the water system and they pollute the bay and they kill the fish and the seagrass, and that's devastating for our health and for our economy. We've also been working to preserve the ability to find places for the water to go and storm drainage systems, working across cities to do a better job, and to protect our Everglades, which is our drinking water supply. And people want to build into those open spaces where our groundwater is really at risk. So many, many things that we're doing to deal with these issues.
Yeah, and thank you, Mayor Cava. They say that there are people who talk and people who do. Thank you for being one of those who do.
Yeah.
Sustainability is definitely not just for scientists, it's for everyone. So thank you for reminding
If
us
I
that.
could just add to that, I've heard that there are people in elected office who want to be elected to be someone and people who want to do something.
Mm.
I hope I'm in that second category. That's certainly
Yes,
my plan.
you certainly are. I'm sure everyone
you.
viewing can agree.
Thank you.
So, something more personal with our people. You've seen how social media can divide people and polarize our communities. But here in Miami-Dade, the younger generations tend to connect those bridges naturally, knowing that we're such a culturally diverse community. What's something that you've noticed about Gen Z that gives you hope for where we're heading?
Well, I do think that technology is a tool.
Mm.
And so I like to talk about high tech, low impact, low tech, high impact. So you have to have the technology as a tool to connect rapidly, spread information, learning, but you also need to have real relationships. And we know for those who don't handle social media well, they can get lost in the shuffle and not develop real relationships. And we actually have an epidemic of loneliness right now. Our former Surgeon General declared it, and he's continuing to work on issues of loneliness. So I find it very inspiring, for example, your group that is so engaged and making such a great effort to reach out and let other people know that we don't want to just bury our heads in our devices, but to actually take action, because the world is yours to inherit.
Yeah, of course.
Right? It could be a helpful tool or it could be a bad tool.
Yes.
And so we want to make sure we turn detrimental nature into something that's positive.
Absolutely.
And so our next question is, of course, I'll let Santi answer it, but we always like to do a rapid fire where we ask personal questions. But not super
Okay.
cool, don't worry.
So we need to end with a Miami classic. And the Miami classic is, what is your go-to spot to get un pastelito or un cafecito? Because I love my guava pastelitos, but you need to tell us.
Well, I like guava cheese, just to
Oh.
be clear. And my newest passion, spinach croqueta. Okay, no ham, no chicken, spinach.
Healthy.
And they do serve them at Sergio's, just saying.
Oh, just saying. I think that says a lot. We'll definitely go check it out, right, Santi?
Of course.
So we'll send you some pictures. We'll send you some pictures.
But I will add, Vicky's does an outrageous rum cake.
Mm.
So everybody has their
I
special
had Vicky's this
lane.
morning.
All right.
Yeah, yeah. So, Madam Mayor, thank you so much for spending time with us. I just want to know, what is one thing that you would tell a young person that wants to at least get somewhere close to where you are when they grow up?
I think you have to follow your passion. So people often ask me, oh, how do I get involved? I don't know how to get involved. I say, pick one thing that you care about. Learn about it. Connect to people who care about it. Start to speak up. I have the daily, weekly, and monthly dose. So daily, learn about what's really happening in the world. Go to your trusted sources. Weekly, get out there, get your hands dirty, go volunteer, go join up with people. And monthly, speak up, because your voices matter. So whether it's a letter to the editor or a call to an elected official or showing up at a community meeting, show up. And pretty soon you'll be developing really strong civic muscle, and that will be your entryway into bigger civic impact.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Madam Mayor, for spending time with us. This conversation wasn't about politics. It was about possibility.
Very
And you've shown us that the next generation has a lot of possibility.
indeed.
Until next time, I'm your host, Clint John.
I'm your host, Santiago Rodriguez del Valle.
And I'm your mayor, Daniella Levine Cava, and that's a wrap.
Signing out.
Signing out.